I wanted to make a quick trigger warning. There are going to be hard discussions mentioned in this video. There's going to be mentions of essay and the R word in this video, so you have been warned. I have a theory, and I don't know if Nick Godejohn genuinely committed this crime. And bear with me, this video is going to be a bit everywhere because not only do I have ADHD, but there is so much stuff to pack in one video. And I simply cannot just make a whole bunch of short videos. I can't, I'm a yapper for life. A lot of people like myself are starting to believe the conspiracy that Nick Godejohn is completely innocent and he was framed for the murder of Dee Dee Blanchard. There are reports saying that Dee Dee Blanchard was murdered on June 8th or June 9th, but Nick Godejohn didn't even get into town until June 10th. Now, are you sitting down? Because this shit's about to get crazy. Dan said that Gypsy herself introduced him to her multiple personalities. Keep in mind, Gypsy met and knew Dan before she even knew who Nick Godejohn was. So allegedly, Gypsy is the one that had the multiple personalities. And made Nick and Dan create their own evil personalities to match hers, not the other way around. Gypsy wanted to spin this story that Nick was crazy and Nick had multiple personalities and there was a vampire named Victor and he forced her to create different personalities for him, when she's the one that made him create Victor for her. Also, when the murder took place and Gypsy posted those 2 Facebook posts, there were actually 3 Facebook posts. The third one was saying how Nick murdered Gypsy and Gypsy was dead, and her original plan was to run away and be considered as a missing person. Her plan the entire time was to plan all of this on Nick. She didn't want to run away with him. She wanted him to take the fall for the murder so she could be free and do whatever she wanted, run away with Dan. I genuinely believe that Gypsy was not only the mastermind behind the murder, but she's the one that murdered her mother. And I don't even believe Nick was even there until after Dee Dee was dead. Like I said in one of my last videos, Dee Dee's nose was beaten in and it looks like she was punched repeatedly in the nose. Gypsy had bruised knuckles, and by the time she got caught, it was 5 days after the murder and the bruises were starting to turn yellow and starting to fade. That lines up with if allegedly she punched Dee Dee in the nose while torturing her, not to mention the cigarette burns and the marks on Dee Dee's wrist from being chained up. I genuinely believe Dee Dee was tortured for days before any of this even occurred. Let's not forget that Dee Dee was also extremely ill and she was bedridden. She had gout, she had diabetes, she had all of these issues. She was bedridden. She could not fight back. She could not defend herself at all. And don't come for me in the comments saying, oh, she had diabetes, she was so sick. There are plenty of people that are diagnosed with diabetes that are completely fine and they're healthy and there's 98% can live normal lives. Dee Dee was extremely unhealthy. She was sick. Whenever diabetes gets really bad and you don't take care of yourself, you decline rapidly. You can lose limbs from diabetes. She was very far along in her diagnosis, so to speak. People are also noticing in the crime scene photos, the entire file was leaked. There were plenty of photos that were already available online, but the entirety of the photos was leaked. People are noticing the lack of blood. When you were stabbed 17 times and almost decapitated, you could expect a shitload of blood, an ass load even, a pool of blood. There was maybe this much, which is absolutely insane. Where did all the blood go? Unfortunately, I cannot share these photos on this page, but I might be able to leave the link in the comments or the bio. I don't know if it'll get taken down though. A lot of people are speculating that Dan and Gypsy tortured and murdered Dee Dee, and there was a shed in the back, I believe, tortured her and murdered her in the shed, then washed her body of blood and DNA and things of that nature, and then moved her back into the bed. While all of this is speculation and there's no proof of any of this, it's very interesting. It's a very interesting take, I would like to say, because the lack of blood is a huge thing that I feel like a lot of people have overlooked. Off the top of my head, I believe there's like 4-5 liters of blood in the human body. It could be more, especially since Dee Dee was larger. There could definitely be more blood in there. With that many stab wounds, where did it go? If this actually happened in the bed, where did it go? It wasn't soaked into the mattress. It wasn't pulled up on the floor. There weren't a bunch of towels covered in blood from someone cleaning up the mess. It just wasn't there. There were towels that had blood on them, but not a significant amount that 4, 5, 6 liters would give. I fully believe Gypsy never cared about Nick. She liked Dan and she wanted to be with Dan and run away with him. So she found Nick, a man with mental illness and mental disabilities, to do her dirty work for her, take the fall, and run away with Dan. She preyed on this man. She manipulated him for over 2 years to get him to do this crime. He offered running away with her. She didn't want to. She kept telling him no, and it's because she didn't want to be with him. She didn't want to run away with him. She wanted him to commit a murder and her to get out scot-free. Nick Godejohn had Asperger's, which is a form of autism and an extremely low IQ. Also, I was told Asperger's is no longer an acceptable term, but I cannot find another term for that term. So if anyone could tell me in the comments if that's not politically correct, please let me know. I do not want to be saying negative things. She manipulated him every single day for hours, for 2.5 years. And a lot of people are saying, well, people know murder is wrong. He had the choice and he made the choice. How can you manipulate someone into murder? She told him and fed him so many lies. She told him that she was pregnant with his baby and her mother killed the baby. Bitch. Not only that, he loved her. He had an obsession with her. He would do anything for her, to save her, to protect her, to be with her. And she kept feeding into the narrative that me and you are going to run away. It's going to be me and you. We're going to have this beautiful life. We're going to have a house. We're going to have kids. We're going to be together. All I want is you, but we can't do that unless you do this. There's no other option. You have to kill my mother. So after 2.5 years and having an extremely low IQ, what do you think was going to happen? She found her perfect victim. Yet everyone wants to come out and say, well, why doesn't Nick just tell the truth? Well, why doesn't Nick just tell everyone if he's innocent? Why doesn't he tell everyone? Because of his low IQ and because of how obsessed he is with her, he is still in love with her. There was an interview and he said, I'm still very much in love with Gypsy. Even if she doesn't love me, I love her and I will always protect her. He is still in the delusion that there's a chance that they will be together and that he's doing the right thing in protecting her. He said, there's gonna be a day where I come out and I tell my side of the story, but it's not today. And now he's telling everyone he wants to be left alone. He doesn't want to talk to any creators. He doesn't want to talk to any news outlets. He doesn't want to talk to any investigators. He wants to talk to no one. He wants to be left alone and do his time. She found the perfect victim in Nick. Because now that she's living her best life and going on reality shows and making millions of dollars, he is rotting away in prison for the rest of his life and doing it happily because Gypsy got a happy ending. Also, as far as raping Gypsy's mother, Nick never wanted to do that. Gypsy wanted Nick to rape Dee Dee. He said, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. She tried to force him to do it and he said, hell no. And he had consensual sex with Gypsy after. In her story, in the interrogation story, she said, oh, he raped me. I didn't want to do it. Another question. Ooh, I don't know. Should I go there? Should I go there? Where did y'all actually have sex? A lot of people are speculating it was right next to Dee Dee's body, which is fucking insane. Spin it back. I literally said this video is going to be everywhere. So sorry. In the photos of Dee Dee Blanchard's body, there is a V written in blood. I believe that was Gypsy's way of further trying to frame Nick, because she was the one. He has a multiple personality, a vampire named Victor who loves to murder. See, and there's a V on the body. Are you connecting the dots? Girl, you're the one that put the dots there. That is insane. Gypsy said after the murder, he made her go into her bedroom, take her toys off of the bed, take her clothes off, and she said that he raped her. I don't believe that, and I am not in the business of denying victims of any form, whether it's abuse, rape, anything. That's not what I want to do. I find it hard to believe that he forcibly raped you. And then after that, you got your things, went to a motel, and then made a video making jokes about how he's eating a brownie and next he's gonna be eating you, all while smiling and giggling and have the best time of your life. And when you told detectives, what did you do when you went to the motel room? They had a lot of sex. It wasn't just one time. They had a lot of sex. So it was rape right after the murder, but 30 minutes later when you got to the motel, it was all consensual. That does not make sense to me. And I could be wrong, but that doesn't make sense to me. Not to mention, they were into dark role play. The whole Victor, Ruby, she was licking knives and doing all of those things in the videos that are also public knowledge. You can go find them yourself. There's also a form of kink called CNC, consensual non-consensual, where it's consensual raping pretty much. And that's not, I don't know. I feel like she used that to try to frame him for raping her. And he was never charged with that. I feel like she was trying to blur the lines, whether they had 100% normal consensual sex after the crime or it was CNC. She was trying to blur the lines to get him on another charge because she didn't want to look like, yeah, we murdered my mom and then we went and hooked up. Like, yeah, it was lit. That's what happened. She wanted to be like, I didn't want to do any of this. He took advantage of me. He murdered my mom. I was in the bathroom. I had nothing to do with it. Also, allegedly, there was another knife purchased and used, but no one knows where that's at. A lot of this video is speculation. We genuinely do not know if Dan and Gypsy murdered Dee Dee themselves and then framed Nick. But what's crazy to me is people still support her with the facts and evidence that have been proven. Mind-boggling. How do y'all justify that? Why is she famous? Why does she have 6 documentaries, a Lifetime special? There's going to be a season 2, by the way. And now she's with the Kardashians? This is insane. What's next? Casey Anthony? Are you kidding me? This whole situation is fucked. And people are like, you must be jealous because she's making so much money. No, I think personally, all the people that are supporting her are fucking stupid for making her a multi-millionaire. She almost decapitated her mother. And she's been lying and manipulating and squeezing everything that she can out of everyone she comes in contact with. And I think it's insane that people are putting her on a pedestal and giving her a platform. No one should listen to her. Not a single word that comes out of her mouth. She's not an advocate. She is a disgusting human being that should not have a platform at all, in my opinion. On a more positive note, thank you so much for watching my video. If you like my content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, I don't have a posting schedule yet, but I'm trying to post at least 3 to 5 times a week. I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for hanging out.